So, how do professionals actually go about predicting the risk of violence? Well, today we're diving deep into one of the key tools they use, the HCR-20. We're going to break down how it works and, maybe more importantly, how to make sure it stays a powerful and relevant guide.
All right, let's just kick things off with a question that really cuts to the chase. Imagine you're a clinician, right? Or maybe you're in the legal field. Someone hands you a risk assessment that's 5 years old. Could you, in good conscience, make a critical decision based on that today?
Yeah, the answer is a pretty clear no. An old assessment is kind of like an old map. It just doesn't show you the road closures and new construction that are there right now. Today, we're going to get into exactly why risk is such a moving target and how we can keep our assessments fresh and accurate. So, what's under the hood of the HCR-20? What really makes it work? Well, it all boils down to two fundamental kinds of components. And honestly, getting the difference between these two is the key to unlocking the whole thing. This lays it out perfectly. You've got two sides of the same coin. On one side, there are trait factors. Think of this as the stable, historical bedrock of a person's risk. And then on the other side, you've got state factors. This is the dynamic, constantly shifting stuff happening in the present. It's like the difference between someone's whole life story versus how they're feeling this very minute. So these are the trait factors. This is what's called the historical or H scale. You can think of these as the anchor for the entire assessment. They represent a person's baseline risk based on their past. And the key thing is, this stuff generally doesn't change. But then you have these. These are the state factors coming from the clinical and risk management scales. Now, this is the part of the assessment that can literally change in a matter of weeks or days or sometimes even hours. It's a snapshot of what is going on right now, their symptoms, their support system, their stressors. This is what makes risk so dynamic. So it makes sense, right? If those state factors are always changing, then the accuracy of any risk assessment is going to fade over time. And that brings us to a really critical idea, what we call the half-life of risk. So what's the magic number? Well, all the research points to this: 6 months. See, inside that 6-month window, the HCR-20 is a really powerful predictor. But after that, its reliability starts to drop off. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just some vague guideline. It is absolutely backed by solid research. The data is super clear. If you want the HCR-20 to be effective, you've got to be updating it regularly, at least every 6 months. It's non-negotiable. This little table gives us a fantastic roadmap for when to do those reassessments. You can see the historical part is pretty stable, right? But the clinical section, that needs a look every 6 to 12 months. And the risk management part, well, that's the most fluid of all. It needs to be updated the instant there's a major life change. Okay, so knowing the why is one thing, but what we really need is a clear protocol for the when. So let's just lay out the specific triggers that should tell you, okay, time for a reassessment. Here are the basic rules of the road. If it's been more than a year, those CNR scales are stale. You've got to redo them. After 2 years, you need a full do-over, the whole shebang. And at 5 years, that old report is basically ancient history. It's context for sure, but it is not a reflection of current risk. But, time isn't the only thing that matters. Some events are so significant they demand an immediate update. Things like a relapse, a change in housing, any new aggression. Any of these can totally change the risk picture in an instant. That means you need to update those C and R scales right away. And this brings us to what is maybe the single most important trigger of all: discharge from a facility. This is not just a change of address, okay? It is a complete overhaul of a person's structure, their supervision, their supports, their stressors, everything. It absolutely always requires a fresh look at their current risk state. So after all that, what's the big idea here? It's so easy to get lost in the numbers and the scores, but that's really missing the forest for the trees. That's not what the HCR-20 is actually for. This right here, this is the most important mindset shift. The HCR-20 isn't some magic number generator. It's a tool that's designed to help you build a story, a formulation that truly explains a person's risk. It's a narrative that guides real action and helps you create a smart, effective management plan. So the next time you look at a risk assessment, just ask yourself this one question. Is what I'm looking at a dusty old snapshot, or is it a live feed? Because believe me, the answer to that question can make all the difference in the world. Thanks for tuning in.